Hey guys, and welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. Today we're making these delicate beauties called lace cookies. Y'all, I'm so glad you're here. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share my video. I appreciate you guys so much. If you're new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So let's get started making lace cookies. Okay guys, so we are making lace cookies. That is lace, L-A-C-E, cookies. Okay? And this, I've done this video before. This is actually one of my most popular videos on my channel. It stayed at the top for a long time until I did like the 2-ingredient biscuits and the fried apple pies. This is one of my top videos. But when I did it, I was new at YouTube. I was just beginning and the quality is terrible. So I wanted to redo this video for you guys because this is such an amazing recipe. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn you guys down where you can see into my bowl. I got my mixing bowl here. I'm going to start with 2 sticks of softened butter. And I'll move us all over to the mixer in just a little bit. But 2 sticks of softened butter. My house has gotten a little chilly, so it's not as soft as it was. It is, I'm freezing. So, anyway, hopefully they'll cream good. Alright, so to the butter, we are going to add 1 cup of white sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. So yes, there's tons of sugar in this recipe. So there's a half. There's a whole. Set that aside. I'll put the lid back on in just a jiffy. Let me grab the brown. Half. And a whole. Same thing. We'll put the lid on that in just a little bit. I'm going to get this over to the mixer and get it started. Okay guys, while that was beating, I've gotten out some eggs and I'm just going to mix them up real quick. And whoops! We don't want to mix the shell in there. And okay, so I've beaten up 2 eggs and we're going to get this in the mixer as well.
Why did she leave you pointed down looking at nothing? Can you tell me that one?
Because I walked away to the mixer.
Oh.
Alright, we'll be back. Okay guys, I've brought you over here with the mixer, so I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And we're going to turn it on again. I'm going to put in a splash of vanilla. Y'all are not going to believe how easy these cookies are and then how impressive they are. About a teaspoon of vanilla. We're now going to add in 2 cups of quick oats. 2 cups. So here goes a half. Here goes a whole. Another half. And there's 2 cups. And now to the 2 cups. Or to this dough, I'm going to add in a cup of pecans. Chopped pecans. And that is it, my friends. Now I'll meet you back over at the bar and we'll start getting our cookie sheets ready. Okay guys, with this cookie dough, you don't want to put a lot out. So I say less than a teaspoon. That's my scoop, less than a teaspoon. And I actually have a 3/4 teaspoon measure. So that's what I'm gonna put these on with. And they do spread out and they make very impressive cookies. Okay guys, I've been scooping away and I've actually gotten a batch or two out. So we're going to keep scooping. They will run together, so you want to separate them the best you can. These flatten out and become like lace where you can just see through them. It only takes, I've got my oven on 375, and you will have to just see how your oven does. My oven, I think, may cook a little hotter than normal. So I do somewhere between 6 to 7 minutes. It can go all the way up to 9 minutes, but I would not start there. I would set your timer for 6 minutes, look in and see if they're starting to look golden brown. I'll show you in just a minute what they are supposed to look like. And so it's better to set the timer for shorter and then just have to add a few seconds at a time than it would be to burn them, because these are very delicate cookies. They're not delicate as in hard to make, but they will burn fast, and because they spread out, they're thin and they'll become charcoal quick. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. And see, this makes a lot of cookies, so I've got a long way to go. So let me get these other ones cooled. I'll bring you back and I want to talk to you about how to store these. Okay guys, here's what they look like when they come out of the oven. You can see some of them ran together, and I'll just take my spatula and separate them. But they are so good. Let me show you one. Here is what they look like. They are so delicate. You can see through them. You can see through them. See? Can you see everything changing? The light changing? So yeah, there they are. They are so delicious. I've got one that I messed up, so I'll taste that one, because when I did it with the spatula, it wasn't quite cool enough yet. They're so good. Now, we'll talk about storing them in just a second. I gotta finish it. Okay. So, let me grab my stuff. I want to show you how to store them. Okay, one thing you need to know on these cookies is do not make them on a rainy day. In fact, it's not raining here today, but it's cloudy, and I was a little bit iffy on making them because you want them to crisp up and you want them to be good and crispy. Also, when they come out of the oven, you don't want to move them right away because they will crinkle up a little bit. And before you start storing them, you want to cool them completely. Let's see. Let me show you how that did. And you just take a thin spatula and just kind of go under it, and it'll lift right up like that and be this gorgeous, beautiful cookie. And when you have them run together, I don't know if you can see, I just take my spatula and kind of separate them. These won't be pretty and round. See how crispy they are? See? Gotta eat the crumbs. They are, they'll break in a heartbeat. So, and one thing, until they are cool completely, you don't want to, oh, that one just tore apart. Because it was stuck on the pan, not the parchment. Good grief. I'm being too fast. And that you just got to be very delicate when you're, got to be easy like this. There you go. I was getting too fast and hard there. But those, you know what you do when they break apart like this? That's what you do. Okay. I wanted to show you that. Now, this recipe came from a lady in our former church. And I cannot think of collards and cabbage without thinking of this lady. Her name was Miss Ann. And she gave me this recipe, and it is so good. So good. But the best thing to store these in is a tin. So if you have a tin, it's a great thing to store them out. I went ahead and took some of my parchment because, you know, I bought those sheets. So I went ahead and bought some, took some of those parchment sheets, and I cut circles the sides of my, so I'll put a layer once they're cool, completely cool, and put it down like that. Now, if you store them in plastic, let me show you what not to store them in. You don't want to store them in a plastic like this. This is not going to make any sense, and I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think I set the timer. I didn't. I gotta watch them. But the kind of plastic you want to store it in, if you have to store it in plastic, is this flimsy, I don't even know what it's called, flimsy plastic. Like, I bought this at Sam's and it had little brownie circle things in it. And I kept it just for these cookies. They won't get soft in here, but if you store them in like a, you know, those Ziploc, or don't put them in a Ziploc bag, but let me see if I can find something. Like one of these that has the lids that you can buy in the grocery store. Don't put them in these. Put them in this flimsy, I don't know the difference. I don't know why. Don't ask me, because I don't know. I just know they'll get soft in here, but they will get soft in here, but not near as fast as they will in here. So, I'm going to keep baking cookies. I've got a lot of dough to go. This makes a ton of cookies. Now, a good way to cool them, although I've already set my table for Thanksgiving, I can't do it. But normally I just pull the parchment and just lay it on my table and bring my pan back and do another batch. So I'm going to be slow at this today because I don't have anywhere really good to let them cool. But, so yeah, I am going to work on this. And I am so glad you joined me. I'm going to find one that I've broken. And I'm going to find a pretty one. There's the pretty one. Here's one I broke. So I'll eat this one. But, so you can see right through it. That's why they're called lace cookies. And they're so good. They are so good. So y'all, thank you for joining me here on the farm. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make lace cookies. They're so easy. There are a few rules you need to know. Don't do it on a rainy day. Make sure your house is dry. And be sure you got a good way to store them. And be sure you got a lot of patience because you only put a little bit out. Don't you put more than a teaspoon. Because you see how they're spreading out. And then the next thing is just enjoy. Thank you guys for watching The Farm and Pastor's Wife. And remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. Bye, y'all.